Welcome back to Coach Stack, your secret weapon for improving yourself through business, investing, and personal growth. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on our next videos. Confession time. The title of today's video is a tiny little bit misleading. Although we're going to talk about 4 steps to making billions, the fact is it probably took Warren Buffett hundreds or even thousands of tiny steps to make his first billion. I know, that just took the fun out of it, but that kind of money takes hard work, folks. Today, we're going to go over 4 techniques, traits, and strategies that help make Warren Buffett billions of dollars so that you can start to apply them in your own life. Alright, let's get started. Step 1. Start investing while you're young. Have you heard of the compound effect? It's a great book by Darren Hardy that gets you to think differently about value over time. Its basic idea is that seemingly insignificant actions made now can have massive effects in the future. Here's an example of the concept in action. Imagine you're on the way home from work when you pass a hot dog stand. You aren't particularly hungry, but $1 for a hot dog seems like a bargain. You pay for the hot dog, eat it, and continue on with your day. Generally, people seem to think that the enjoyment they get from eating a hot dog is worth about $1, so they don't think twice about the price. The compound effect tells us that the value of money is more than what's on the bill though. Imagine that you decide not to buy the hot dog. Instead, you get home, set up a brokerage account, and invest $1 in the stock market. In 10 years, your dollar is worth $2.50. In 20 years, its value is up to $6.73. In 30 years, you're looking at $17.45 in value. Is a hot dog from a street cart worth $17.45? Maybe not. This might seem like a digression, but it's not. I'll give you 2 reasons why. 1. Warren Buffett is very old. 2. Warren Buffett has been passing by the metaphorical hot dog cart all of his adult life and most of his childhood. What I'm trying to say is that Warren Buffett began investing this money incredibly early, which means that his money has been compounding for a very long time. For reference, when Warren Buffett was only 11 years old, he decided that penny candy and action figures were for the financially irresponsible and decided to buy some stock in a local business. That was 80 years ago. What is every dollar he invested back then worth today? $224. If you're over the age of 11, this might be disappointing news. Don't waste too long contemplating the cruel passage of time though. The most important lesson you can learn from Warren Buffett and the compound effect is that the best time to get started is right around this second. Step 2. Make mutually beneficial partnerships. Today, the odds of Warren being the richest person in whatever room he's in are pretty high. To be exact, there's a 99.99999993% chance that Warren will be the richest person in any room, anywhere in the world at any given time. That wasn't always the case though. Early on in his investing career, Warren didn't have that kind of bankroll that many professional investors did. Because of that, he couldn't capitalize on a lot of the best opportunities he was seeing in the market. Warren realized that he needed to find a risk-free way to up his buying power. The solution he came up with was to seek other investors who were in a similar position with the goal of forming an investment group. Warren began pitching the idea to anyone who would listen. Slowly but surely, he began to get more investors on board with the idea. Pretty soon, Warren had increased his buying power 7 times over. There's a great lesson here. On your journey to becoming a millionaire or billionaire, you're bound to come across challenges that you don't have the ability or means to overcome. There are guaranteed to be other people running into the same challenge as you. If you can find these people and form productive partnerships, your goals will become a lot more feasible. Step 3. Make long-term investments. Most people want to get rich quick. The idea of getting rich quick has become so popular in our society that all types of schemes and scams have infiltrated the internet and elsewhere. The thing about get-rich-quick schemes and tricks is that they won't work for the vast majority of people. Take GameStop, for example. It's true that a bunch of people made good money from its surge in share price. What doesn't get mentioned as frequently is the fact that thousands of people who showed up late to the party ended up losing money. I'll let Warren explain why. He said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the inpatient to the patient." That line says a lot about his strategy when it comes to investing. Warren is what's known as a value investor, an investor who looks for stocks and companies who are cheap compared to their intrinsic value, as he calls it. The theory goes that the market will eventually correct this undervaluation by raising the company's share price, and when that happens, the value investor gets rich. The thing is, that process can take ages. Warren Buffett has owned shares of American Express since 1960. He's owned shares of Coca-Cola and Wells Fargo since 1980. These long-term investments have made him a billionaire. It really is that simple. Step 4. When in doubt, don't risk it. When people are talking about the ways Warren Buffett and other billionaires made their money, they usually focus on the things they've done rather than the things they haven't. That's understandable. You probably wouldn't bother mentioning to a friend that you didn't go skydiving today. Generally, people are more interested in things that have actually happened, but looking at billionaires' success that way misses a hugely important aspect of it: not doing stupid things with their money. Warren Buffett is the king of not doing stupid things with his money. Bad investments? Rarely. Recessions? No problem. As a result, he's been insanely consistent over the years when it comes to making money. Ready? I'll prove it. If you invested $1 in the S&P 500 back in 1964, it would be worth around $198 today. Now, what if you'd invested that dollar in Berkshire Hathaway instead? You'd have $27,373. He's avoided risky situations like the plague for all of his career while making investments that are logical and grounded in real value. Warren's missed out on some massive profits because of this philosophy of risk aversion. For example, he missed out on early investments in both Google and Amazon because he wasn't convinced about the companies. People love bringing these cases up. We've even talked about them in a video before. But the fact is, Warren wouldn't be nearly as rich as he is today if he were prone to making risky decisions and chasing quick profits. If you do the same, you might miss out on some big short-term profits, but the long-term gains will more than make up for it. That's all for today's video. We hope you learned something about what it takes to earn your first billion. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on the next one. See you next time.